episode 2 of the Murph and Bish podcast. How we doing, Murph? How we doing?
I'm fucking fantastic. I'm back home.
He's back home, chat.
Back home.
Back home. Sorry, some stuff happened, so this is our first time filming since a couple weeks ago, but we're excited to be back. Excited to be filming for you guys. First,
Yes,
we
sir.
kind of wanted to go off and tell you guys a little bit about our new live merch store. Just came live a couple weeks ago. You can check it out on streamlabs.com/murphandbish/merch. Link will be in the bio. We have various different stuff. We got sweatshirts, hoodies, long sleeves, short sleeves, tank tops, shirts for the kids, some shorts, pants, different hats. We got all sorts of stuff. So if you're interested, you can check that out. Like I said, the link will be in the bio. So today we are going to talk Call of Duty. It's a game that both me and Murph, have played a lot of. It's been one of our fun games. Honestly, Call of Duty is kind of where I met Murph and met a lot of the people I game with now. So it's a game for me that has brought a lot of relationships. So kind of just get started. Just the facts for some of you might not know much about Call of Duty. It started in 2003 under Infinity War. The first one was just Call of Duty. As you know, there's been 19 games made since then, with the latest being Modern Warfare 2. As well as you have different game developers, Infinity War, Treyarch, Sledgehammer, and Ravensoft, that have kind of taken over and make all the different Call of Duties, and they rotate every once in a while, or pretty much every year, on who makes it. In my opinion, I feel like World of War kind of is where Call of Duty started taking off. Used to have Tom Clancy, so it was interesting to see how Tom Clancy kind of was the start, and then Call of Duty after World of War, I feel like kind of just took over and then hasn't really looked back. So Murph, what's kind of your first moment of kind of remembering playing Call of Duty?
One of the first moments I have for Call of Duty was I used to have this Nintendo DS, and I remember the only game I had on it was Spider-Man. And then my mom one day was just at Walmart or something, and she saw the Call of Duty one, so she got it for me. And I'll never forget how horrible the graphics were on the Nintendo for Call of Duty, because you would walk about maybe like 6 meters and the render still wouldn't come in. And so I just remember being on my school bus in the morning playing Call of Duty with all of my little homies on the bus. We'd all get in the same game and all just swag on each other for like 15 minutes. Lunchtime, same deal. On the way home, same deal. And then that's my first memory of Call of Duty. So like you said in the intro, Call of Duty has brought a lot of relationships for me as well. So, well, what about you, Vicious? What's your first ever Call of Duty memory?
My first ever Call of memory, I think it was Modern Warfare 2, the original one. I know it's weird that you have to say the original Modern Warfare 2. You should only have to say a game.
Remaster.
But the original Modern Warfare 2, that was kind of the first Call of Duty I remember specifically playing. I remember just late nights going to friends' house, and we just played it, and then just had so much fun. So that's probably my kind of favorite Call of Duty moment. Kind of we're talking Call of Duty, kind of favorite, one of our moments. Like, what is your kind of top 5 Call of Duties, Murph?
Whew. All right. This is my first pick is going to be weird, because this was my first ever Call of Duty that I ever played on console, and I remember it was on the original PlayStation. It was Call of Duty 2, and I'll never forget, me and my older brother, he got that game for the PlayStation, and so we would put it on the hardest difficulty and try to beat the game. You could never do it. At least I was never able to do it. So that's my number one. My close to number one has to be Call of Duty 2, or Black Ops 2. I mean, sorry. Black Ops 2 was one of my first games where I really started to take multiplayer a little bit serious. I really loved the gameplay. It was so fluid. The cool guns. You still had the movement aspect. Then I got to go with Black Ops, OG Black Ops, because I'm saying, who doesn't like OG Black Ops? Then a Black Ops 2. I said Black Ops 3 already. Yeah, Black Ops 2, and then I got to go with OG MW.
Okay.
Got to go with OG MW. That's my swag.
Okay. Okay.
What about you, Viciosus? Spit
I'm
them. Hit me
I'm
with them.
I'm actually kind of very close to you, similar with you as well. So I think my ultimate game is Modern Warfare 2, the original one. Like I said, just
Uh,
so much good memories with that game. It's hard to beat. I feel like it's just one of those ones. I think that was the first COD, so maybe it was because it was my first love, and but just playing with friends, doing that all the time, doing LAN parties late at night. We would stay up from we'd start at 6 p.m. and we'd be falling asleep at 6 a.m. or laying down finally at 6 a.m. from playing the entire time. So just great moments with that game. Black Ops 2, just kind of again, it was kind of a game with friends. A lot of my friends, being Mormon, they went on their missions, and so I kind of tapered off a little bit of Call of Duty for a little bit there, because the people I played with kind of started
mm,
disappearing. Then I met some new people when I moved to go to college. Met a lot of new people, and that Black Ops 2. So that was kind of what brought me with them, is playing Black Ops 2 with them. So it was kind of another game. I just got another group of friends that I was able to kind of bring together. The original Black Ops as well. My original high school buddies, we still played that game because they were still around. We'd had again late nights. We didn't do as much in person, but that's more when online and all that stuff was starting to come more and more popular, I feel like. And so I was playing a lot more online with them on Black Ops. I did originally like the newer Modern Warfare as well. It just kind of brought back Call of Duty. I feel like there was about a 4 or 5 year span where Call of Duty just struggled.
yeah, I agree.
There was a bunch of different things, a bunch of different issues that they struggled to kind of work. So it was kind of very nice to see that kind of come in fruition, start to kind of bring back a player base, and also kind of Modern Warfare. I know was more with or not with with Warzone, when I kind of
Mhm.
met you guys, but Modern Warfare is kind of what led into Warzone and kind of helped bring it together with you guys. And then one that's kind of, I feel like, out there. I think it's just because I didn't really give a crap about the game, and that would have been um, Call of Duty Ghosts. I know a lot of
Yeah,
people absolutely hated that game. It came off the verge of Black Ops 2 and stuff like that, so it wasn't good. But just me and my buddies, we just kind of started not caring about that game initially, and that's when it became like one of the funnest Call of Duties. I mean, I have a throwing knife montage of just me just throwing random throwing knives, playing infected or doing game modes, and we were just trying to do these random snipes and throwing knife kills and all this stuff. So like it became so fun because we didn't care. Like we didn't really care if we won or lost. It was just having fun. So it
oh
was
yeah.
a kind of fun moment just to play with my friends, and we just didn't give a crap, and you kind of could do what you wanted to do and didn't really have to win or lose.
Okay, okay, okay.
So yeah, that was mine. Those are my top five. I feel like it seems like me and you have a very similar top five. Um,
Yes, let's do.
which I feel like most people would probably agree with our top five.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would have this, like, if not the same, at least close to it, because Call of Duty is one of those games where it's even though the community, in my opinion, is a very very toxic community, but we all kind of share the same opinions about the games.
Yeah. But yeah, let us know here in chat or on our YouTube. Comment and let us know what your top five favorite CODs are. We'd love to hear from you guys. Um, now we kind of talked about our favorite Call of Duties. Murph, what is your kind of favorite game modes on Call of Duty? What is those game modes you just love to play, loved, enjoyed?
For me, especially with Call of Duty, I'll start with the beginning times. So when I was younger, me and my brother were used to play a lot of TDM. And I never liked Search and Destroy. Search and Destroy has always been so popular amongst the COD community, but me, I just liked to go in, be careless, try to get as many cool kills as I could. And I remember back in the day, you couldn't really clip stuff, but once multiplayer kind of started making a bigger hit, they started paying a little bit more love to it, and I really started taking multiplayer way, way more serious. And then, excuse me, it got to a point where my brother would stop blowing me out of the water. I would just my KD was horrible when we first started playing, and then I just became an absolute demon. And then when Rebirth came out, because that's where we all basically met, or at least the majority of us all met on Rebirth. MW2, it had the same movement mechanics, the same guns and everything. So I would just go into the training grounds for MW2, and I would just sit there for hours practicing my snipes, my movement, yada yada yada, all these different aspects. And it paid off because we did so many cool things in Rebirth. I know I have a montage of our old customs we used to do of me just doing cool stuff to all of our friends. So again, it's just kind of like it went from TDM to like a battle royale, as my favorite game modes on Call of Duty. What about you, Viciosus?
See, I'm a little different. TDM was always fun. Just playing with friends. But I kind of enjoyed like the funner, just small little game modes. One in the chamber, infected, gun game. Like those modes were just,
Oh yeah,
they were nice. They could be frustrating. I know infected was just kind of,
yeah.
but infected was just I think so fun because once you became that person with a throwing knife, you were just trying to like figure out how you can get to these spots, and everyone was always huddled in like 3 spots because everyone knew that was the spot everyone went. So you're trying to beat everyone there. Everyone's sticking around. You're waiting for the first person infected. Everyone is just like on edge because like, okay, is it going to be someone that turns right next to us? And you're all on edge. And the next thing you know, it turns and it's not anyone. So everyone's like, all of a sudden, calm down, chill. But it was just interesting. The affected person trying to once you're the last person, whether that was infected or not, just seeing that everyone just rushing at you, and you're just trying to run and haul as fast as you can away from everyone, shooting everyone. It was just crazy. And gun game, it was always a new game. I think it helped kind of learn how to get better with all the guns because you never knew what you were gonna get.
Oh
Was
yeah.
it going to be a sniper, a pistol, an AR, an SMG? So you kind of are forced to kind of get better at all the weapons. So I think that kind of helped. And then moving forward now, I think I'm more just kind of like the Warzone more Rebirth type of player.
Oh
Kind
yeah.
of fits my style. It's kind of more fast pace, but it's different than TDM. There's like more than an objective instead of just someone sitting in a corner all game.
Camping all game, yeah.
Like you kind of have to move. You have to move. Like you can still camp, but it's not like you can sit in one spot on the map and just camp the entire time. But
Uh-uh.
Rebirth has definitely come. There's been, I did start at first like the bigger map of Warzone, but since Rebirth was out, that's kind of been my thing. I just can't go without.
Back to big map,
Yeah,
yeah.
the big map, especially this newer one. Like nothing wrong. Like I don't know what they're doing ranked with it now, and maybe I just got to give it another chance. But I feel like that one, once you die, you're sitting there spectating for
For
20
like,
minutes because your team can't get enough money to buy you back because there's not either
yep.
a buy station or enough money to find so. Rebirth, at least you can still buy people, but I feel like there's more money options. There's a lot of different options.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially in Rebirth, when it came down to it, it even being a smaller map and how religiously we all used to play. It's the way we used to combat campers. I don't know if you remember, but we had literally every single square inch of that map memorized. So when we were gonna push a house, we kind of already knew the spots to anticipate where these campers were going to be camping, holding up, trying to get a quick kill to get money, to get their loadie, things of that nature. So that's one of the reasons why I genuinely loved Rebirth so much, because whereas you had players like me who were idiots and would just leave the team to go get a squad wipe real quick, get a cool clip. There were also moments where after I'd get a squad wipe, I'd link back up with the team, and we would just completely demolish the entire lobby. And I think that's where the fun lies in games like Call of Duty as well, because for example in TDM, TDM is unlimited spawning, so you're gonna do a bunch of crazy stuff. You're gonna be as careless as you possibly can, but there's also those moments where you gotta like tighten up. Like, all right, we're only down like 10 kills, so you start talking to these randoms who have been spamming racial slurs at you, calling you all types of crazy stuff. But now, in these last 5 minutes, you guys have become best friends because you guys want to really win this game. And that's kind of like the same culture that carried over into Rebirth. And I thoroughly enjoyed that. And then having that aspect of being able to play with my friends like you, Zan, Mackie, and my baby brother Loof, that's how he was introduced to our entire tag community. And that's one thing that to this day, even as a full grown man, almost 25 years old, I still cry about it every single day. Not every single day, but it warms my heart so much that my other grown men friend have basically adopted my little brother as their little brother, and it's all because of Rebirth. So I thoroughly enjoyed that aspect at least.
Yeah, like I said, Rebirth. That was kind of the first time I met everyone. You, Zan, Mackie, Vegito. That's kind of where I first met all you guys, and so especially that Rebirth, it means a lot to me. It helped me grow. Whether that was just Call of Duty as a streamer, everything. That was kind of when I got to meet all you guys. So definitely for me, that's definitely a one that kind of led to where we are now, and who knows, I know I always kind of joke because Kid J was a friend of one of my buddies and he played with him, so then I found out about customs through Kid J. And then so like if I would have never joined those customs that one time, who knows, this podcast going on right now might not even ever happen, Murph. And it's just crazy
Agreed.
to think about that. That Rebirth is what led to this, and I could say it's going to lead to some lifelong friendships with a bunch of people that I would have not known elsewise. Most of the Call of Duty, most of the people I know were like family friend, like a friend of a friend, or my own friends. So it kind of really expanded who I play with, and definitely has helped just myself, and has made some great relationships, and I feel like that's the same with you. You
Oh
guys
yeah.
kind of had that. When we did talk about customs, like that, those were great times. I never knew about customs. I never had enough people to do customs, but joining you guys in those customs, it was fun. There was always people joining. Unfortunately now customs a little bit harder because you have to have 50 people
80 people
and
or something
you have to have
crazy.
all this and all that, and you got to play on the big map. You can't do resurgence right now, like. So I feel like that kind of took a big toll on the community a little bit because you weren't able to do these
100%.
community nights as much as you were able to. But kind of what was your thoughts? I know you kind of discussed a little bit, but what's your thoughts on like the customs and like everything that goes along with that?
I think it's like we said in Rebirth, the ability and how easy they made it for people to do customs. At the end of the day, people are playing video games nowadays, not necessarily just for fun. I mean, people have fun playing video games, but a lot of people are aspiring content creators. So people play these games to grind out content. And I believe strongly that one of the best ways for content grinding is to make a game playable with like other people's, not necessarily communities, but other people's friends. And I mean, think about how many connections we made with streamers. I mean, we found Red through customs. We found like we became friends with a lot of Mackie's Belgian friends because of customs. Zan found a lot of different people to introduce to our community as well, and then our customs they didn't really blow up, but we started getting a little bit more notoriety, and then we started getting more DMs from these random people on Twitter, like, "Hey, are you guys still doing your customs this weekend?" Yeah, like, yeah, we are. Like, okay, cool. Is it okay if I bring a team? Like, of course it's okay. And so that's what I really, really loved about it. And like you said, you touched on it, saying that there's so many requirements for customs to happen, especially in this new what is it called, Rebirth, or I don't remember what the name is for it. But and then that really, like you said, takes a toll on that community because a lot of these guys they main Call of Duty. This is their as one of our friends says, this is their daily driver game. And if they can't create opportunities like customs to help grow their communities or to get funny clips and content with their community members or their team members or whatever the case may be, then your game is going to take a hit. And also, well, I think that's a topic we're going to be hitting soon. So I'll save that little comment for when we get to there. But I think that them not keeping the customs at least the same really, really hit their player base pretty hard because nowadays it's really popular to be having TTV in your name or Tick in your name or YouTube in your name or something else. A lot of these people are streamers, and I know a lot of people who like to do community nights or community days where they play certain games with their community. Especially for Rebirth, people would do customs, and the hosts, aka the streamer, would just switch around with teams so you could play with a bunch of different people, create new relationships, yada yada yada. And now people do not have that ability to do that. I mean, they have the ability, but it is not as simple, nor is it as easy and comfortable as it used to be in OG Rebirth. But those are just my little thoughts on what I think that the new custom rules and how they're affecting the new Warzone.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Vishio? What are you thinking?
I agree. I think it's the same. I mean, we did try that one. We were playing with Max Layer, one person that has done customs with us numerous times. She was
Yeah,
attempting to get that, and it was just we played only one game, and I'm trying to remember. It took us at least an hour just to get the one game to happen.
oh yeah, it
And
took a really long time.
everyone was trying to get in. People were leaving. Okay, I'm inviting this person. I'm inviting. Okay, we're at 40. We're at 46. We're at 46. We're at 47. But then we're at 47. Like, oh, and then someone backs out because they get disconnected, or we had the server open too long. So then it got so it made it definitely difficult to get that. And I think that everyone was excited because, okay, custom's back, custom back. Then we realized we couldn't do rebirth, and then we realized, oh, it was 50. And then everyone kind of after one game was like, I mean, we even tried doing a second game, but we sat there for 20 minutes waiting for people, and just people started leaving. Like, hey, I'm gonna go play. We're gonna go
With
play
my team. Yeah.
rebirth. We're gonna go do this. Like, it just took forever. I
Yep.
do want to say that me and Murph were on the only winning team of that custom, so we're 1-0. Just saying. Thanks to Big Pop. Shout out Big Pop. He led us, but
Yeah. Shout out Pop. He led us to a whole victory.
but going back to just kind of talking about everything. Like customs, I think it's funny too. Just kind of talking about all that stuff. It was interesting. The first time I didn't know you guys, and I started going back to an old clip with Rebirth, and I realized I was playing with, I think it was you, Mackie, and Dom. At that point in time, I didn't know any of you guys. Didn't know anything. Just kind of got thrown on a random. I hit random, and I just filled with this random team, and it happened to be you guys. But going through it, unfortunately, the clip doesn't have any audio. But I just remember I hit a snipe, turned around, hit another guy that was on the opposite side. We were on the top of a prison, and I flipped around and
Looking at
sniped another person on tower. And I just remember hearing Mackie say, like, who is this guy? Like, who is this? Like, I'm like, this guy's down. Oh, this guy's down. This guy's down. And I just remember you guys like, who the hell is this man? And it was just, it's just funny because at that point in time, too, I'm like, I don't even know who these guys are, but I'm just going to be like, okay, cool. Yep, I do this normally. Gotta look cool. Like, I always hit those strikes. Even though I don't, like, luckily all of them were standing super still, but it was just kind of funny to, like, okay, And, then it was kind of more and more joining you guys, then started kind of know you. But, yeah, that was probably one of my, like, funny moments from, like, first time I ever played because – I go back on that clip, and I remember the audio. Unfortunately, no, I wasn't picking up any of your guys' audio for some weird reason. It wasn't wanting to pick up, but I just thought it was funny because you just hear me down, and then that's just remember, just Mackie's like, who the fuck is this man? So
I still remember that clip too. I don't remember it specifically, but after you showed it to me and like we started reminiscing about it a little bit, and like a little bit of the memory started hitting me. and it was me, you, Dom, and Mackie, all on the top of prison, and Dom was literally about to die to two guys. So you just watch me slide canceling all over the screen on top of prison. I'm like, yeah, we got him. And I'll never forget. I have it up on. I think it's on my TikTok. I don't know if you remember or not, Vish, because I don't. I think it's on my TikTok. But one of the most legendary customs we had ever had. I got so many clips that game. I was, oh my god, that was so much fun. I mean, we had people in different communities looking forward to our customs, and we could honestly and truthfully say that those were our customs hosted by none other than your tag members. That's it. And that was the beauty of it. And it turned into from tag customs to everybody's customs, and everybody every week, all we would do all week long is talk the hottest mess to one another. I mean, all week long we are just talking cash money to each other. Then comes around time to get to business, and boom, all the rivalries, all that smack talking gets put to rest, and I loved it. I loved that friendly rivalry we all had. Like when what was it? When Toxic sniped MXVJ out of the airplane,
Oh yeah.
and nobody let him hear the rest of it. He's like, bro, all I've been hearing for the past week is how I got sniped out of that helicopter. I'm about to get Toxic.
I remember I was on his team when he got sniped out. He's like, "What the shit?" We're like, "What just happened? How are you dead?" He's like, "I don't know. I got sniped." And it was just just crazy stuff just to believe like how that all happened, and it was just and I know like you said there was bounties being placed on there. Everyone was just placing bounties on each other during the week. Like,
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna get more kills than him. Okay, you no, you won't. No, you won't. Okay, I bet you 5 gifted subs, I'll get more kills than you. And that's like, okay, it's
Yeah.
on, it's on. And then like all of a sudden you just like in Zan's chat, you have Lunchbox every once in a while come in. Okay, whoever gets the top, whoever the winning team is gets donations. Whoever's the top kill gets the 5 gifted, and whoever else is on the team gets 1. So everyone's like, wait, what? What? We're playing for gift? Okay, so everyone's just turning on. You have freaking Vegito there, freaking just using his crossbow. Everyone's just sitting there watching this man like running a crossbow sniper combo, and everyone's like, what the hell is this man doing? And then you're just watching him, you're like, oh shit, okay. Okay.
He's hitting his shot.
And then you see all the random people just rooting for him during it. Come on, come on, come on. Just the crazy
Vegeto's a
stuff.
crazy guy.
Yeah, very crazy, but definitely it's a customs was a good thing. Definitely I would say that's a favorite COD moment too. I know it's not really game mode, but it definitely definitely was very very good.
For sure. Customs is probably my number one favorite Call of Duty moment.
Oh yeah. Customs was great. We kind of talked about Vegito having his using the crossbow, that became his loadout. Kind of what is your favorite loadouts or loadouts? Like, what is that?
Oh,
Whether that's a
okay.
gun, is that just whether it's just a certain type? What's your favorite?
So back in our rebirth days, before I became an official movement demon, I used to run the MP40 and the Swiss. That was used to be my favorite loadout. And then once I became a movement demon, I used to run the OTS and the Swiss. And I can't even. I have so many, and I mean countless amount of clips on my TikTok, on my Xbox, of just me, just that duo, just going insane with that duo. And I never used to be good with stims. I'm like, what's the point of them? You take a huge hit in health when you pop them, or it's only for a short amount of time. And then once I became an official movement demon, then I realized I was like, okay, now I see the point of these stims. And it just there were so many skill gaps in that game, and your loadout kind of spoke to the kind of player you were. Like Mackie, he wasn't a big fan of SMGs, so he would turn the M4 into an SMG and then run it with like an AK, a very strong AR, because Mackie's playstyle was sit there and beam you. And Mackie's shot percentage was crazy. I mean, I want to say he's sitting at least like an 81% for his shot percentage. That dude was barely used to miss shots. Alongside of Vegito, And then you have players like me, Kid J, shooting blanks. The guys that are more movement based, running these small, quick hitting, hard hitting SMGs along with these snipers, these quick things that'll deal a great deal of damage, give us a chance to get some space or to close out on a team or whatever the situation may be. And then you players like you who are just you never know what you're gonna run, but you're gonna be scared because you may not be heating up on the first game like none of us are, but once you get heated up, it was scary. Because I'll never forget, we were playing customs, and I think we were going against you, and I think you were playing with your friends that game or something, and you sniped me about 4 separate times that game, and I was just getting so mad. Eventually, we came and got you guys, but I'll never forget how bad you shit on me in that series. That was insane. I'm like, I don't remember Vicious like ever popping off like this when he plays with me. Now he's over here putting me in the dirt each and every time. What the hell is happening?
Yeah, well, I had
What
to
if,
put you in the dirt. I couldn't let I had to show off to you now. I was all saving it. It was all it's part of the long con. Making them think that I'm not good. And then flipping around on you guys.
and then being a demon? What about you, Vish? What's your favorite loadout? Because that's a good question for you.
Yeah.
I never know what your favorite loadout is.
See, it's hard because I have my multiplayer and I got my rebirth. I think they're kind of similar, but it's like I guess regular Warzone. If you take rebirth out and do regular Warzone, I'm a run and gun person. I always been that way. Sniping has never been my specialty. That's something I've kind of started to grow on, try and build. Because in the original, when I was playing Call of Duty's, Modern Warfare 2, all those other ones besides before maybe Modern Warfare, that's when I first kind of started sniping. I guess the Modern Warfare 2019. That's when I started to really snipe. Before, I've always been a run and gun. I was always running an SMG and an AR of some sort. I was always,
Right.
usually running the MP7 or the MP5. Like that was my two
Ooh,
guns.
those are
It was just running gun
good.
with those, and then I'd get a good shot, a good AR, whether that was the MP4, the Odin. I would just kind of run one of those high hitty, I could get some distance if I needed to, but I was always running gun close quarters. And it wasn't until kind of Modern Warfare what I learned. Okay, I can't really run and gun, and I think that's what I like about Rebirth is I can still kind of do that run and gun aspect because I know I'll come back.
Right.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Whereas, the other one, it's like, okay, if you die, well, then you just screwed over your team. And I think that's when I kind of started becoming more like, I used to run the Bruin a lot in the regular Warzone. I was running, Cyber, and I think that's kind of why I made that switch. But I kind of go back and forth. I still feel like I'm a run and gun when I can be. But like they said, the regular Warzone, I have to sit back and I can't push as much because I know that I'm not coming back or I'm going to put my team in danger. Whereas, Rebirth, it's like, okay, if I lead off with the team, I know I can get respawned. So if I go into a 4v0 fight when my team's not around, oh well, I can just push in, kill everyone, and it doesn't matter.
Come back. Yup.
And I can come back. Sometimes I pull it off, and I pull off a great clip, and I got all of them. And majority of the time I fall, and I only get like one or two of them, but I still got them. And I feel like I can push more. Everyone kind of knows I'm a farms guy now on the new research Rebirth. I go to the farms all the time, but
Oh yeah.
it's hectic. But who cares? If you die, you die. You die, you come back. Towards that late game, that's when you have to start thinking more. But you're coming back. As long as your team's on a fight, you can push as much as you want. Or if they're on the other side of the map, you're by yourself. I mean, I do that a lot where I go back to the farms and I'm like, okay, this team keeps getting us. They're like, we're going to pull off. I'm like, no, I got to get this team. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But again, I'm like I said, run and gun, quick, and SMG, AR, more type of style of that. But I've kind of learned to kind of play more passive and use snipers and stuff like that. So. But I still to heart, I'm a run and gun. I want to get going. I want to get fast. I want to get those kills. I want to push on people. So.
Yep. Because again, like you said, that's the beauty of a game like Rebirth is that it's a battle royale / TDM, and it gives you a chance to You know what they say. Like, if you want to really get good at a game, especially these first person shooter games and these battle royale games, the only way to get better in these gun situations is to get into as many fights as you possibly can. And the beauty of Rebirth was, like you said, like, I would maybe my first time I'd get two of them, right? But my goal was always to try and respawn so I could get the other two, and then boom, that's a team wipe. And even if I couldn't, that's cool. I got two of you. You guys got one guy back. That's fine. Then that means I just got two again. Then now that's a 1v, or what is that? Like, now it's just a 1v1 instead of it being a 4v1. And now I'm more than 100% confident in my game and my gameplay that I will get this last guy, and that's a team wipe. And then, it's just the same process over and over again. And I love that aspect, like you said. And, even in my old school clips, I have all of our comms and stuff. And now, like when me and Lex, when we play Apex a lot, our comms get so intense during our ranked games. It's kind of crazy because it's just down, 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 over here, over here, over here, over here. Left, left, left. He's pushing left. Like, it sounds like we're playing competitive gameplay. But that there's no rebirth in Apex. But still, it's just like you said, Bish. Honestly, I'm just kind of repeating what you said. Basically, it's that beauty of I can go play dumb, and I can still win this. I can go do something cool and still come back and win this and not screw over my team completely.
Yeah, and it's just I think that's the beauty of it. And I think that's why like initially I hated Rebirth when I like saw this. I was like, because you went from Warzone to Rebirth. I was like, this is stupid. Like, I don't know the map. Like, wait, you can come back, so then you weren't paying attention. You're just fighting the one person, and then next thing you know, you're getting beat down with a gun. It was like, what the hell? Like, so it was just getting used to actually being able to play that, and so initially I was very frustrated. I absolutely hated it. Like, I didn't know how much longer I was going to take it. But then it turned out to be really good, and now I can't go back to the original, especially with these old ones. Like the first original Warzone map, I think I could still go on and play that one. I love that map. It's a great map.
Over dance.
All the new ones, though, I just feel like whether that's buy stations are in a bad spot or just the size of it, it's very taxing, and those games take forever, and I think that's the nice thing about Rebirth is you can still play, 3 rebirths, 4 rebirths sometimes, in the matter of fact that it takes you to play one regular Warzone game.
Yeah.
If you make it to the finale. And so, I think that's a nice thing too, is it's not fully time taxing, but you can still play a lot of games, and it's a lot quicker to play those type of games super quick. If you only have, an hour, you can play, 6, 7 games. Depending on that. With Warzone, if you're getting late gaming all the time, even, still, you make it, in the top, was it 150? If you make it in the top 100, 75, like 15 minutes has passed sometimes by the time that even happens. So it's just, it's just a crazy amount of time. But, they're, running, loadouts, everything like that, everyone, and that's the nice thing about Rebirth and just Warzone and stuff like that, is everyone can play with a different loadout and still be successful. It's not like you need to have a team full of snipers and ARs or a team full of SMGs. Like, you can still have those ones that go close in while someone's giving you support from the back end. You have like like Zan's been doing a lot of sniping. I do a lot of running and gunning. So Zan's providing cover fire from afar while me and you are pushing up with our ARs and stuff like that. So, and that's the nice thing, is you kind of need a balance of everything to kind of help give you in different fights some different things. Sometimes, yes, you get screwed because if you get in a close battle and you don't only have your one gun and you have to all of a sudden switch to your sniper, it sometimes can be hard. But I think that's the nice thing about Rebirth is all loadouts, whether you're running the same, running all completely different loadouts. You even have those cheese ones where people are running around with the riot shield and someone's back. It gets annoying, but at the end of the day, it happens.
And that's the beauty of playing games with your friends, is that, like you said, we would have people like me and you who are going in close into the building in these people's faces to try and take out the team, while you have sniper support like Zan, or you have AR support like Mackie back in the back, and it's me, you, and Lex just pushing people, and we've got our sniper sitting in the back. And then it was like, the snipers, I got really really good at quick scoping and sniping at a close range, so it's like I could kind of do both now. Like I can fight from close range and I can snipe somebody. So it made me very versatile in the game, and I love that. I mean, we even got to a point in Rebirth where we started playing like, yeah, we played for subs amongst each others, but we started playing Z League, which was, like the real a version of competitive Warzone or Rebirth, I should say. Sorry, because you had points and there was a lot of other people trying to get to the same exact place you were trying to get to. So it was really cool to see our own personal growth and how good we got to an extent where we're like, okay, we all feel confident playing with this team right here that we can go ahead, play ourselves some competitive for like a chance to win some money. And that was the cool part about it, is that you could do something cool that would promote success for you and your boys at the same time. And I loved that, that was the beauty of it.
I agree. When we've kind of talked about various things, we kind of gave some thoughts, but kind of Murph, what is your current thoughts on the state of Call of Duty?
Oh, um, my current thoughts are that, personally, and again, this is just my opinion, I think they ruined the game. Statistically, they don't have the same player base as they used to, especially in OG Rebirth. And you can see that a lot of people still go back to OG Rebirth just to play Verdansk. Um, and it speaks volumes that you created a Rebirth in your newest game, and people would rather, your Rebirth players would rather go back and play OG Verdansk as opposed to play your new Rebirth or even your new big map. And a lot of these streamers just play it because it's the most popular game that's popping right now. Because Call of Duty has been down even in viewership on Twitch for so long. I mean, I think a couple of months ago, actually, Minecraft was a very, very popular game, but even when like Warzone came out, Minecraft had more watchers on Twitch than the newest Call of Duty game, and that's never happened. Call of Duty has always been one of those games, unless it was like one of the trash ones that was created. It's always been good. It's always done good. I think with them taking out the movement text, and just making it so easy for the average player, I get it, because I used to be one of those guys who was like, man, everybody is so sweaty in this game. I just got off of work. I'm tired as hell. I don't want to use my brain that much. But then it was like once I started really focusing on practicing and actually getting good at the game, it was worth it. It pays off, and that's what hard work and determination does for you. You become a better player. And Rebirth gave a lot of people the sense of that this isn't just gaming. This is bigger than gaming. I'm trying to become good at this. I'm trying to get good at this because you never know what could happen in life. Next thing you know, I'm on a competitive Call of Duty team playing for somebody, or I'm in a tournament playing for big money. You never know what could happen with these type of games. And taking out such a big skill gap like that does not promote players like me who have worked really, really hard to become the refined player that I am, especially in Rebirth. I'm not saying I'm a refined player in the newest Warzone at all, not even in the slightest means, but you know, the skill gap is what really pushed me to get better because a real competitive video gamer will be getting tired of always getting shit on by these guys who are doing significantly better than him, wiping his whole squad. You're like, all right, now I got to get better than that guy. Before you go to bed, you watch your favorite YouTuber play some Rebirth, and he's doing the craziest shit. So you're watching him, taking notes from him or her. You're like, oh, that was a really good idea to just jump down, slide cancel 3-4 times, and get him actually confused. Get behind cover, repeat, repeat, repeat. It's just these little details that made these players with these skill gaps that took the time to finesse and perfect these skill gaps and made them so obsessed with that game. And that's why I think that this game, this new one, isn't going to do good, and it hasn't been doing as well as it was projected to do. And a lot of people are complaining about it. I mean, yeah, sure, now everybody's kind of like settled into the game. They're like, whatever, it is what it is. This is the game that we have. But, and everybody would complain about Rebirth, but it was never like, it was just people who didn't want to spend time to get good at the game. But even you spent a lot of time to get good at that game. None of us are like freaking cracked at it, aside from like a couple of people we know. But that's just because some people are just naturally gifted at video games, and some of us got to work hard to get good at them. And I don't appreciate the fact that they did that. That they basically are mitigating all of my hard work at becoming this great player that I was. But that's just my personal opinion, and a lot of people disagree with that opinion. But what about you, Vishal? So what do you think? What do you think about Warzone now?
I think the state of Call of Duty, I think it's in a good spot. I think the player base has kind of dropped off. Not because of the game itself. I think it's the
Mm-hmm.
stillness. Everyone wants something new, and especially too, I feel like recently there hasn't been as much new games or new things that have been coming out that everyone's like, oh, okay, like it's right now you kind of really, if you talk to a lot of people, it's the same. If you're playing the shooter, it's the same thing. People are playing Fortnite, they're playing Apex, or they're playing Call of Duty.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of the times, recently there's been a lot of movement where some of these big streamers, go from one game to the next game, and then people follow them there, and then they go to this game, and then they go back to COD, then they go to Fortnite, then they go to Apex, and now they're back in COD. Like, I just think it's just a staleness thing. Is everyone's just grinding these games so much, they're just becoming stale, and there hasn't been like a lot of variety in games. I feel like. You used to talk about all the time, like, oh, this, oh, that, this game, that game. Everyone, now it's just kind of like, well, there's this game coming out, or there's this edition. So I think it's just, we're not seeing as much new games. We're seeing old games just being redone and made into a new thing. I mean, you had Warzone 2.0. I mean, you have Fortnite that just changes the map all the time. So I think Call of
Right.
Duty in the game wise is in a good state. I
Mm-hmm.
just think it's, there's the people that are new to Call of Duty, and then there's the people that have been playing it since, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare, all those original games. And so there's just, becoming that kind of a skill gap. And so it's either you're playing these super professionals or these people that, hardly played. Again, too, I kind of go back to it as well. I think the reason is everyone kind of uses it now because they don't have as much time to play. With COVID, everyone had working from home, so you could play a lot more often. You couldn't really go out and go anywhere on a Friday night, on a Saturday night, because nothing was open. So you were kind of forced to stay
Right.
home, and so that's what everyone was doing. I think there's just not as much people being able to play as much, and so because they're not home as much, and so there's not that as big of build up for the games, if that
Right.
makes sense.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
And I, like I said, in my opinion, I think Call of Duty, yes, there's certain things like there's hackers, there's stuff like that, but that's every game. And I just think it's people, think they're good as well, and so then they get killed by someone. I mean, I don't know how many times, this kind of bothers me too when we like play and someone's like, "Oh, this guy's hacking. He's got to be hacking. He's got to be hacking." It's like, but like there's like you don't watch them enough, or sometimes it's just, oh, they kill you, oh, he's hacking. It's like, just because someone kills you doesn't mean they're hacking. Like, yes, there's sometimes it's like, oh, like, how did they know where I'm at? I do that all the time. Like, how did they know? How did I know? But it's what you're hearing compared to what they're hearing. They might have all their game audios completely down and just have footsteps all the way up, and so they hear one little tiny thing and they know. So I mean, I think it's just a hard thing is people get frustrated with it, and they're saying, and I know a lot of people are frustrated with the hackers and stuff like that, but they try and combat it. But then the thing is too, by trying to combat it, you're also sometimes making it worse, because then you're having people, that are getting shadow banned because someone just,
Is
accuses them
angry
of
that they got
cheating, and
murdered. Yeah.
before yet the game even decides or they look at it, you're getting banned until they can review your file. Well, because everyone's hitting cheating because you happen to hit this wonderful shot. All of a sudden, okay, he's cheating, and then you get banned for cheating, and then you can't play for 2 weeks. And so then I think that's getting people frustrated too, is because all of a sudden they do something cool, and then they're not rewarded for it. They're getting hurt by it because now, the anti-cheat, it's good, but also it kicks players that shouldn't be getting kicked.
Yeah, I agree. And a prime example of that is Zan. I mean, how many times does he get you know, shadow banned for just being an amazing sniper? And he's naturally good at sniping in video games. I don't know what it is. He's a freak, but especially in Warzone 2, he's really been able to highlight that skill of his. and he's been shadow banned multiple times. I know Mackey's gotten a couple of reports. I think you got a couple too, and it's just and I agree with that. And like you said, there are hackers in every single game. I mean, especially, my new daily driver is Apex, and I never realized how many hackers there really are in Apex. And yes, I agree with you that sometimes it can get confusing. Like, oh, maybe he's just better than me, and maybe he isn't hacking. But a lot of the times, like, you also got to remember that these games anti-cheat isn't that good. Like, we remember when Ricochet was implemented, and we still remember how many hackers were in there because these people are doing it blatantly. They have TikTok lives where they're openly cheating on alt accounts, or I've seen people do it on Twitch, and still nothing happens to them. And in my opinion, like, if you're making a game for the average Joe to enjoy, having to run into sweats is a different deal, because even the average Joes will spend time to get better at the game sometimes, but you can't. And it's hard to beat a hacker. Not saying it's impossible, because even we've done it in our games where we've played Rebirth together, or even in Warzone 2. We've done that before, but it just it makes the game a lot less enjoyable for people to just be able to get on, just put in the Cronus in their controller, not miss a single shot, end up with 36 kills, and then you're left there thinking that, dang, maybe I'm just a trash player, when in fact the dude's just hacking, and you're on the right path. Um, and I think, like, and I agree with most of the stuff you said. I think also it's you know, uh, people take certain games more serious than others. So for me, Rebirth was one of those games where I genuinely wanted to become like a professional Rebirth player, because I took it so seriously. I put so much time and effort into becoming an amazing player at it that I was like, okay, yeah, maybe I should start taking this a little bit more seriously. So I started practicing more, started getting better at it, started hitting more of my shots, started realizing, like, okay, making notes, recording all of my gameplay, going back and watching it during dinner instead of like eating dinner with my family. I'm sitting there in my room going through the old footage, or going through the stream that I just recorded, and watching all the fights that I lost, thinking about what I could have done better. But there are also times where I go back and I watch those clips and I'm like, yeah, that dude was definitely hacking. I just didn't think he was at the time. Now watching it, how are you all the way across the map, and all I see is your name up on the kill feed? You're not one of those pro players, because I watched them all. That's not who you are. And how is it that you're getting all these kills, doing all this amazing stuff in the game? There's no way, because even as somebody, and I'm not saying I was the best Rebirth player at all by any means. I mean, we even have people in our community who are way better than me, but there were times where even I would shit on them. And so that was just attributed to all the practice, and it wasn't. Again, it's just the same thing. I'm just saying the same thing different ways. It just makes you want to not play the game and not practice it, not try to get better at it, having to go against hackers all the time. And I get what you're saying about the, maybe he just has his footsteps up, which is a great idea. Maybe that is what he's doing. But you can, most of the times you can tell, especially like people like us who've been playing these games for almost, what, I want to say 15 to 17 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We can tell probably just as good as any of the other veteran players in this game that, okay, yeah, this guy's full of shit. Like, he's not doing this.
Yeah, and I agree with what you're saying. And kind of brings in our kind of final topic. Kind of, we've kind of hit on some points here, but what do you think Call of Duty needs to do to improve?
Um, you said something earlier, and it stuck with me. You said that everybody always wants something different, and they can't always please everybody. So for me, for what I would want personally, I would want at least, at the very least, for them to at least bring slide canceling back. That's one thing that I think that would bring back a good chunk of players. But then again, if they brought slide canceling back, it could ruin the number of just the average Joes that are playing after work, just trying to get good at it. And I am one of those average Joes that plays after work. But it just didn't incentivize me to try and become better like I was at OJ Rebirth. I think if they brought in that movement aspect again, I think their player base would grow. You would lose a couple of people, but at the end of the day, we got to realize what era we're in. We're not in 2008 anymore, where everybody gets on to either just be racist and get their anger out, or just have fun with their friends. Nowadays, people are playing for money, for competition, for titles, for things of that nature. There's a lot of pride in gaming nowadays, as opposed to the old stereotype and stigma that it used to have that only bums play video games. No, now people are making millions off of playing video games, and it's a desired career choice now. And schools are even offering programs and courses for people to become streamers, learning how to market themselves better, learning how to set up their streams better, learning how to make emotes and things of that nature. Because I have a couple of buddies in California who are enrolled in a course that are doing things like that right now. So it's really dope to see where gaming has come from, it going to that disgusting stigmatism that it used to have, to now where people are acknowledging it as a real career choice and a real career path, even as a what's the word I'm looking for, Vicious? Academically. But yeah, in my opinion, I think maybe they could make like a game mode where it's like, um, but they could call it Hardcore Rebirth, where it's just all the old school movement mechanics, and they could just have regular Rebirth where it's the new mechanics that they have, like the old school Call of Duty mechanics of just dolphin diving and bunny hopping, things of that nature. They could maybe do something like that. But then again, when I think about it and I add that thing that you said to that exact theory, there's going to be people that are upset about that too. Like, well, I don't know. I feel like people would complain about everything. Like you said, people will always have an issue with something.
Yeah, no, I
But
agree.
that's my opinion. I think that would be a pretty okay solution.
Okay.
What about you, Vish?
You know, I think it's just yeah, like you said, and I've kind of said, you know, every game's never you're never going to be able to please everyone. Eventually,
Yeah.
we're at this point in time, with just society in general. Not everyone's going to be pleased with everything. There's always going to be people that have something to hate on. There's always going to be aspects, from a standpoint is personally that you're going to hate that someone loves, and that you're going to love that someone hates. There's always going to be that, and I think that's what's hard for these games is you can never please everyone. And I think that's becoming a thing too. Is yes, there's some things that these companies can do that would be small that would just bring back a lot of people, but then there's it's also some of those things just take time and effort to get actually into the game. Yes, it was something old, but bringing that old thing into the new game, you have to code it new and code it different to work with the new game. So I feel like just, and again, like I said, gaming is just since COVID's kind of gone a little bit down. There hasn't been as much
Hmm.
games, everything like that. But like in my improvements, just try to limit the hackers the best they can. I know the thing is, again, you can get views, you can get likes, like you said, about being a hacker and showing off, and people don't really care because now they're making Smurf accounts because, they don't really care because they get banned, they get banned. So, and then there's, those
Yeah.
hackers that just want to go out there and ruin everyone's, day. But again, that's just been in all things that hackers are around. The thing is, the second you stop a hack from happening, there's going to be a hacker company that's going to make the new hack that's going to do it. I mean, right now on Call of Duty, there's the Force hack where people are killing people without guns. It literally looks like they're using the Force and killing. So again, like now you're going to combat and figure out how to stop that hack, and then there's going to be another hack that comes out or a new way they code it just because that's what people want to do, and people are selling these hacks, and until there's people not willing to do that and people aren't making money off it, they're going to continue, regardless of people like it or not. And I think another thing is just continuing to balance out the guns. I know there's always a strong gun, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's a new gun," and then it gets reworked so it's not as strong. But then another one comes strong because of something they did to that one. I mean, just continue working on that. I mean, it's going to be hard. There's going to be times where things get accidentally screwed up, and people are going to use this gun, and then they're going to realize, oh, it's the only gun being used. But I think that's a good thing is they're always changing up so that there's not one powerful gun. You might be
Right.
powerful for a month, and then they change it up so it's not powerful anymore, or it's back to level of all the other guns, and then another gun becomes that. Like, yes, it'd be nice to just have it all equaled, but at the end of the day, it's just, I mean, that's how life works too. There's going to be guns. There are certain guns that are going to do certain things compared to other guns. And that's just even real life. There's one gun that's going to hit harder on someone or hit harder on something compared to another gun, and that's just how it's going to be. And then my biggest thing is, at least for Warzone, taking out the rockets and riot shields. I know that's part of the game, but I feel like it takes away. You're working hard, and all of a sudden there's just this random guy coming to beat you up with a rocket shield, a riot shield, or you get killed because someone has to. I hate how doing it, but when you have to pick up an RPG off the ground because that's the only gun you found, you kind of feel like a dick for using it. But at the end of the day, that's what it was given. So I feel like if they can remove those two, I think that would help too, because I think that's where some people get frustration is they get killed by these rockets, and there's those people that don't really give a crap, and so they're going in with their rockets or riot shields. I know it makes it fun for them, but again, I feel like keep that for multiplayer. Don't use that in Warzone, especially with ranked and stuff like coming out. There's going to be people that are starting to use those, but then again, there's banned guns in ranked and stuff like that. So, but that's just my 2 cents. I mean, like I said, I don't think Call of Duty in the state of the game is in that bad a place from a personal opinion. I know there's a lot of people that do, but again, I think it's not as much. It's more the staleness of it, and I think that's why people are wanting more and more, is because it's gotten stale, so they expect it to be completely changed, because that's kind of where gaming is right now. But I don't think it's the state of Call of Duty. I think it's just the state of gaming as a whole.
Okay.
But
Okay.
do you have anything to add, Murph?
Trying to think, because I always try to think of at least one cool question before we send off. Talked about favorite class. Oh, okay. What was your favorite map to play on in your favorite Call of Duty game? I know mine.
I would say if you go Modern Warfare series, I think I got to go High Rise.
Ooh,
If you go Black Ops series, I think I gotta go Firing Range.
I agree with that one. Firing Range or Nuketown.
Yep,
Another one of my freaking favorites.
that would
But
be.
those are kind of my favorites too.
It seems like we have very similar opinions to most of these games and favorite things and stuff like that. I guess anybody here in chat, anyone have a question related to Call of Duty you would like us to answer? We're kind of trying to, we want to add you guys too. I've seen you, Vegito and Legends. We appreciate you guys being in here. Like I said, we wait time to end to kind of bring up you guys unless I see a question that you guys talk about. Okay, Murph, this question is for both of us from Legend. How do I become demon like you guys?
Okay. So what you do is quit your job. Um. Don't pay a single bill. Um.
Besides power,
You know.
you need power and internet.
Yeah. Exactly. But I mean, you could just do different things. To get power and internet.
True.
Maybe things that might be frowned upon, but it's okay. You got to get the bill paid somehow.
You can go to McDonald's. They have free internet.
Yes. For food, pasta size, they're like still 99 cents, I believe. So food and stuff is still covered. Just no life the game for as many hours as possible. That's genuinely how I became good at Rebirth. I am not good at Modern Warfare, but I will say though I did pick up Apex relatively recently, and I'm not the best at it, but for somebody who is new to this game, I'm not too bad at it either. And all I ever do is just play this game 24/7. I'll sit in the little firing range that they have, and I will no life practice mode.
But yeah, yeah, I would just my opinion, how to become a demon, just have fun, just have fun. That's all that matters with with these games is just have fun. That's my opinion. Just enjoy the game, everything like that. So, um, but unless Murph has anything else, I think we're coming to the end of our episode 2 Call of Duty. We just actually had Guitar Zan with the follow. We appreciate the follow, Guitar Zan.
Jeez, Annie baby.
But yeah, we appreciate all of you that tuned in. Again, just a reminder, all these will be posted to YouTube the next day. The plan is just because the schedule kind of got changed, so we're going to do maybe 1 or 2 more episodes this week. So be a lookout for that. Topics we're going to discuss and figure out. But yeah, make sure you tune into that. And we appreciate everybody that tuned in. And I think we'll catch you guys later.
Peace.